Welcome ddg5910, History of Communication Design in the Master of Arts in Visual Communication degree track. This is Professor McElroy. Based on the fact that we're in an online environment, I thought the best way to kick off the weekly assignments is to do a video announcement along with a little follow-along animation as I navigate through the course and talk about the expectations for the course, the weekly projects, how the course is laid out, and how we'll tackle each of the content areas as we navigate through the history of comm design. You'll notice many of you are seasoned in the Blackboard environment, or if you're not, this will be a great week 1 tutorial on how to navigate through our content management system, which is Blackboard for Hodges University. You'll notice on the left-hand side there is an announcement tab, and that's where I'll embed the weekly video along with our announcements and anything that might be going on for our weeks. Week 1 is all about the introduction. This is our textbook here, Graphic Design and New History. It's an outstanding book. Absolutely love it. It's from Yale University Press, prestigious publication, and it covers about the last 125 years. So we'll navigate through it chapter by chapter. This class is all about your critical and analytical facilities, and it's all about visualization. So there'll be some heavy writing in here. There'll be some critical analysis. It'll really give us an opportunity to feed our brain. This is the graduate level, so it'll give us an opportunity to really dig into some topics and analyze them and get to see how you process what has gone through in the historical, socio-economical, and cultural perspectives of visual communication. Love the book, love the content. I'm a real content junkie as far as feeding your brain as it relates to history and design and art. So I think we're going to have a lot of fun in this class. So let's take a look at the project expectations for the course. You'll be submitting all of your assignments through Blackboard and the interface for this course. Your grade for this course will be derived from written and visual presentations through our 15-week semester. The first 14 weeks we will have a weekly discussion board. You'll be required to post in that. I like to have the students posting in there by the end of the weekend. I know that we are Wednesday through Tuesday, but the end of the weekend is the best time for everyone to kind of get their feedback in and their interaction in, and that will give us the Monday and Tuesday of each of the weeks to kind of take a look at what people said about our topics. We will have a multiple choice short answer quiz each week on our chapter readings. And you will also have a journal entry. You'll be required to produce a journal page in response to our weekly reading. This is actually a physical book. You'll notice by the image at the top here that it could be a sketchbook, a spiral bound, or a stitched sketchbook, one that ideally doesn't have lines, so you can kind of paste and write and comment throughout the page as you do your reading and as you come up with thoughts and ideas. It's a physical book, and it's used to write your written portion of your assignment with any contemporary imagery, samples you might have found in real life, like magazines and environmental graphics and packaging design and websites. The beauty about today is that design is all around us, and it's a great opportunity to take 125 years of historical patterns and place it into contemporary solutions. You'll also be required to come up with a creative assignment. Not everyone is a designer. Everyone comes from different backgrounds, but composition and creativity and using found objects, everyone can do. And we'll be grading the written portion, this journal entry, using the Hodges University writing rubric, which is embedded in each one of your assignments that you submit. We'll have a final project in this class too, which will take about the last 3 to 4 weeks. You'll do a research paper, a PowerPoint presentation, and an online interactive timeline, kind of covering all of the periods of time that we covered through this course. That's a really exciting and fun project. I really like looking at the interactive timelines and seeing how you compose 125 years of information of design and what things stood out as we covered each chapter. That's a really great synopsis of what we've done. And we will have a written exam, and that'll just be a compilation of our previous chapter quizzes. It'll be the multiple choice and the short answers, and I'll just set it up in a random order where the questions come out randomly. The grading for the course will be 10% discussion board. 40% of it will be those weekly journal entries. That's where I really get to see your critical analysis and how you process the topics each week that we cover. Your final project will be 25%, and then I'll take all of the quizzes and the final exams and just roll them all up into one 25% grade. So if you take a look at that weekly journal entries and that final project, that's 65% of the grade. 65% of what we'll be grading in here are things that you're making, analysis that you're drawing, the conclusions you're coming up with through the content. This is a really fun way to interact with history and with the trends of communication. And trends come back around. There's no such thing as a new idea. So as we cover these topics, these are excellent topics that will be reinforced in your job, in your profession, as you lead creative teams. It'll be a great way to pull back through historical data and highlight things that have worked throughout time that might work again in your industry. So the MVC program is covering topics that can be introduced at the management level into design and creative teams in a way that may inject some life into projects you may be covering with a team right now. So that is our lay of the land for the history of communication design. Let's go ahead into the syllabus tab so you can see that our syllabus is here. Right there. We also have our academic honesty policy. So much of this is critical analysis. It's your own thought. I'm really quickly going to be able to pick up your creative pattern, your thought pattern, and how you write. And here I am, picture and contact information. Email obviously is the best way to get me because it buzzes all of my Apple devices, but phone's good too. It'll go to my iPhone if my office phone doesn't pick up. And if I don't pick up, it means I'm in a meeting or in class, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And so let's go into our coursework. And you'll notice that we have it broken up into our weekly folders. So we'll be tackling Cave Walls to the Printing Press for week 1, the origins of type and typography. And so here's the little overview of the course again with the cover of the book. Love the book. Here are our student learning outcomes and our assessments. Writing rubrics will be leaned upon based on the 65% of your critical analysis for the course. Remember, this is graduate level, so we're really diving into the analysis of content. We'll go ahead and scroll down here, and you'll see that I'm the professor, and that week 1 is type and typography, and I always like to do Milton Glaser is just a genius. To design is to communicate clearly by whatever means you can control or master. What a great quote. Our required readings, we have our textbook, which is the introduction, the origins of type and typography, and I always like to include additional pieces to feed your brain. So graphic communications today, here's a Connecting Past Legacies PDF, Meg's History of Graphic Design, which is another outstanding book. I've attached a couple of PDFs here, The Invention of Writing, The Alphabet, and Illuminated Manuscripts. PDF, a couple of pages you can read. And then if we find other stuff, like the Book of Kells, great little section, PDF to read. And then I always try to include some optional readings. Anytime you can feed your brain, you might be done with dinner and sitting at home and you just want to read a little bit more to kind of cover some more bases in the history of comm design. We always try to include some optional readings, some different topics you might want to read. We also like to include any kind of external links that you might want to check out. Typography design is history. Here's a nice design history link. And here's the additional requirements for the week. You got to get that journal, right? Here's a recommended one, a Strathmore spiral sketchbook, 9 by 12, 100 pages. It's your scrapbook, PowerPoint, available through the VLab. We have it out there on a virtual machine, so if you don't own it, you can get it through there, right? We include all the instructional materials, the assessments, and the discussion boards. And here's our weekly learning objectives. And then we always have an instructional materials and assessment folder each week. So we love to include any material we can, any related videos that we can embed, any history focuses, so just more feeding the brain. Short little videos, short little history pieces, but things that I think are really enjoyable. Things from the History Channel, things from the Library of Congress, just things that we can pull in. Off the Book is a great PBS series. Just some really interesting things as we dive into typography the first week. And so the instructional folder will always have all kinds of things to feed your brain with, to kind of get you rolling in the content beyond the reading. And then our assessment folder. And here you go with the week 1 journal. And you'll see some screenshots of different kinds of journals. You'll get a description of the project, compose a creative journal, entry of at least 4 pages with found design samples with a written analysis, and create a 2D work of art inspired by one of the following: cave paintings, Egyptian art, illuminated manuscripts, or early typography. We're looking for composition here. Let's see what you can come up with. Collect examples of at least 5 images, magazines, packaging, web design, newspaper, books, that appear to you to be inspired or informed by any of the periods of art. So maybe you can find modern day solutions for cave paintings, maybe graffiti art, maybe Egyptian art and packaging, maybe illuminated manuscripts on the covers of books that are being produced today, maybe some early signs of handwritten typography. And then here you go. The written portions has you analyzing these questions. You can use any medium to create this in your journal. Handmade, collage. You can use digital software and compose it if you want, and put it together. But the written portions of the guidelines, this is all based on our HU professional writing QEP rubric. So you want to have focus, you want to develop it, you want to organize your paper, you want to use references, places you find, and you should have a professional, formal, analytical, and persuasive tone to it. And submit your week 1 journal entry. Include the written portion and the JPEG of your 2-page journal spread. And here is your submission right here. So you can click on this and submit it. And then your chapter 1 from your book quiz, your introduction quiz about the history of type. So you have the journal entry and you have the quiz from your assessment. And you also have your discussion board topic. So we'll go ahead and click on that. And you'll notice that here is our first discussion board, and this is where the professor and the students can really get to start interacting. So let's see how we do week 1, and then we'll interact by Blackboard IM, or we'll interact through Blackboard Collaborate once we start week 1 here and we see how the projects are evolving and how your analysis is starting to take shape, and then we'll take it from there. It is an online course, so we will have a compilation final exam that will be taken online at the end of our week 15. I love the history of comm design. I can't wait to interact with you, and I look forward to the solutions we come up with. Okay, guys, take care.